We're back with another episode. We're back with another episode of It Says. And yes, how are you guys week? I hope you guys are doing great. I'm feeling pretty good. What did I do this week? Well, I mean, so far I haven't done much. Today I will be going to my friend's birthday viewing party for Coming to America. My friend Keisha, her birthday is actually today. Happy birthday. I have a lot of Pisces friends. Like, I'm a Scorpio. I'm not 100% big on horoscopes, but I do attract Pisces. Yo, every time, and I even remember in school, like, I have so many, like, I just attract y'all little fishes. Like, child, y'all might hear me say a few happy birthdays. I might have missed a couple of birthdays saying happy birthday on here. Like, I have a couple of Pisces friends, like, no cap, son. Like when is a Pisces born on average? Like, conceived, I should say. Let me think. March. Let's think. March. Then what's before March? February, January, December, November. What's after November? Oh, October, September. After September is August. Then August. What's the other one? What's the one before August, y'all? July. That's 9 months. And then, sometimes you carry up until 10 months. So June, July. That makes sense. Because summer babies is where it's at, honey. Summertime, you be giving it up. Legs open. That makes so much sense. Like, I be meeting Pisces, and even if I'm not like friends with a Pisces, I meet a lot of them. I don't know. I just attract so many of them. And then the other season would definitely be winter. So Sagittarius, mostly Sagittarius. So like December's to January's. I don't meet that much Capricorns, but yeah, like just some winter. But yeah, Pisces, child, them freaking spring people, child, all them little summer conceived babies. That makes so much sense. Oh Lord, baye. So I say oh Lord, baye. It's in Yoruba. I was like, oh my gosh. I don't know. I might be saying it wrong, but I might say it a lot because now I say it a lot. Oh Lord, baye. But yeah, so I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna be honest. Maybe she might watch it. See, I definitely did watch it already. I couldn't help myself because they did really good with the promotion, and I got enticed to watch it. But obviously, when I get there, I'm not gonna act like I watched it. I'm gonna be calm because actually, I didn't finish it till the end, so I still have some stuff that I need to see. But should I give my opinion on that? I'll give my opinion because this does come out Monday. So, Coming to America 2. Alright, this is what I first want to say. I feel like the movie itself is very digestible. And when I say digestible, I mean, it's like you can't. I hate when people be like, I didn't like that movie. And it's like, what didn't you like about it? Like, the plot was fine. The way they the story itself was cool. Like, I like that. I liked how in Coming to America, the first one, he kind of went to Queens and he got to find love and stuff. But then in this one, you kind of get to experience him in Zamunda, because I was gonna say Africa, but it was meant to be a fictitious area of Africa. So he went to Zamunda. He showed how you become a prince in Zamunda. Like, I don't know if I should say certain stuff. Like, okay, spoiler alert. I guess I'm not. Well, it's not really a spoiler alert because I'm not telling you what happened in the movie. Like, I'm not telling you like the main thing. But he talks about how you have to get the skills and the. What's the other word I'm thinking of? Like, the skills to be a prince. Like, they had to catch the whiskers, and then they had to learn about the each fathers before him. Like the each kings that came before him. Things like that. I enjoyed that. So it's like you got a little bit of Zamunda, vice versa Queens. You get what I'm saying? You got to learn more of their culture. The culture of the fictitious Zamunda. But for me, I'm big on quality or whatever, and I say that a lot on this podcast, actually. You'd be surprised. Like, even remember, I was like, things we should leave in 2020 is Zoom. Like, I hate that blurry quality. So now, I'm not saying that the quality of the movie was blurry. No, that's not the case. I'm saying, for me, it was... Alright, so I heard that they filmed the movie in Rick Ross's mansion. I don't know how true that is, but... Because then I saw that they filmed it somewhere else, too. So, for me... It just wasn't, like, it's 2021. Like, they said they finished filming this movie in 2019. So even 2019, I have high expectations for movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't giving me Zamunda. It wasn't giving me Africa. Like, I wanted a little more realism. Also, the dude, what's his name? Jermaine? I don't want to lie. Let me pull that up real quick. The dude who played Zamunda's son, right? So let me put some the dude who plays Zamunda's son, child. The dude who played Eddie Murphy's son, because I forgot Eddie Murphy's name in the movie. I ain't gonna hold you. Coming to America 2 cast. He kind of, I liked him. Very nice guy. I like that they picked somebody, to me, I would say relatively new. His name is Jermaine Fowler, and he was on... He's best known for his role on the series Superior Donuts. So I would say he's relatively new. And then I was gonna give them big ups for that. Then I realized when you pick somebody that you want to look youthful, who could you pick that was like really famous? Like, you get what I'm saying? To be Eddie Murphy's son. Like, there's not that much young new actors that are relevant. Does that make sense? Like, all the actors that are black actors that we know very well are already of age. They're already at 40. They can't play nobody's son, honey. You can't. They just can't. Denzel Washington can't play somebody's son. So they have to get new actors. And I was just thinking about that, like you know, Hollywood needs to start really just bringing some new actors to the front of the table. Like, it's time to let other black actors shine. But anyway, my thing with Jermaine Fowler was, one, he just wasn't giving me that he looked similar to Eddie Murphy or Lisa. I always call her Lisa Leslie. Lisa Leslie is the basketball player, child. Leslie Jones, right? Because they were the two that fathered him. That was one. But I don't get too mad about that, because I noticed that they often mess up in that area in movies anyway. But for me, what was killing me was that he was supposed to be from Queens, New York, and his accent wasn't giving me Queens. I felt like Leslie Jones was kind of owning in on the New York City mother. Like, I remember one part in the movie where she did something that like a girl from New York would do. You know what I'm saying? But for Jermaine, he wasn't giving me New York. And then also, let's talk fashion. Okay. The fashion, his outfits wasn't giving me Queens. It wasn't giving me New York City. In 2021, they put him. It was one outfit he had on. Oh my God, he had on a plaid button down with the white beater underneath and the baggy jeans and some Timbs. That is very early 2000s, baby love. Like I don't know. Also, even too with the African fashion, the Zamunda fashion. It wasn't serving the girls. The only person who served the girls was Tiana Taylor. She must have brought her own stylist. And maybe because she was supposed to be the sexy one. Like, but it was just, like, it just wasn't hitting it on the nose for me. And then what really got to me, because I'm like, all right, maybe it was COVID-19 restrictions, maybe. But then I remember that movie been finished. So come to find out, that movie was finished November, I want to say 9th or 17th, 2019. So my thing is like, all right, y'all couldn't have went to Africa just to get the energy right. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like it just wasn't giving me, it wasn't serving the girls. Like, it just wasn't serving me. Like, just the aesthetic of the movie, personally. Like, that, Coming to America, that movie came out in the late 80s or early 90s. I'm not 100% sure. And, you know, I get the quality. I wanted a higher quality Coming to America too. Now, after I watched the movie and I had this opinion about the movie, I was like, let me do a little research. Cause this is my comparison. Yeah, y'all gonna be like, oh my Lord, Marini. My comparison was like, if they was gonna go into Africa, you feel me? I wanted a depiction of Zamunda in such a way like Black Panther. I'm dead ass. Like, I feel like with Black Panther, they just really put emphasis into the costumes, into the look, into the aesthetic of the movie. And this is even worse. Black is King. Black is King with Beyonce. I felt like she really owned in on the African culture and just, and she is Beyonce, so they were going to pay attention to the fashion and the aesthetic. I'm quite sure her creative team is really super duper creative, or whatever the case may be. So I just felt like I compared, and the movie wasn't supposed to be a big African movie, but I just felt like when it came to that, they did it just wasn't giving me like I wanted like this real weird fictitious feeling of Zamunda, like how we got a fictitious feeling of Wakanda. Like, you know, like after we watched Black Panther, some people believe Wakanda was real, like they wanted to go to Wakanda, things like that. That's what I wanted. Also, even the depiction of queens, I feel like the only person who nailed it on the head was Tracy Morgan, but Tracy Morgan's from Brooklyn, so that's why they couldn't do that movie without him. You feel me? Like, he was just giving me the laughs. When Eddie Murphy went back into the barbershop, that was where the laughs came from. I felt like all the comedians did their comedic good, their comedic timing really well. I felt like Leslie Jones was a little funny and stuff like that. But I just wanted more quality. That was what I wanted. I felt like it was really simple. So I did my research, and their budget was $60 million. So when I first saw it, I'm like, that's a lot of freaking money. But Wakanda's budget, my bad, Black Panther's budget was $200 million. So that's a big difference, you know. And then Beyonce, they don't say what her budget was. They say how much she got paid. And they said that she actually paid out of her pocket to make Black is King, like every penny out of her pocket. And she didn't film everything in Africa. Some stuff was filmed out in Nigeria and stuff, like certain scenes were in Nigeria and the UK, but she wasn't there for all of them. But she still, it just looked beautiful. But I think that comes with, maybe when Eddie, $60 million sounds like a cheap ass budget for a movie, I'm thinking now. And maybe, you know, they didn't really feel like that was important enough, like, to pay attention to detail. I just felt like it lacked detail. The storyline, I hear a lot of people complaining about the storyline, like, oh, it was the same thing from, I'm not too mad about the storyline. I thought the storyline was kind of cool, actually. I mean, like, it was a family movie. And I like that. Like, I feel like you could show your kids coming to America and show them coming to America too. And like I said, it's a good, I didn't have a problem personally with the storyline. I had a problem with the detail. I didn't feel like it was detail orientated. I didn't like the quality. That was me. Like, when you, and that's the thing you like when you see like somebody do a movie over in this time, you're like, oh my god, it's gonna look amazing. That's your expectations. Like, when people do movies over from the 80s, is that you're gonna get it times 1,000 because of just all the technology and stuff. But budget plays a role. Like, I felt like the Bad Boys for Life, the last Bad Boys that they made, was good. I liked the quality, because I had watched a couple of the Bad Boys before, and then I watched that and I was like, wow, this movie was really good. Like, I enjoyed the newest Bad Boys, or whatever the case may be. So I didn't feel the storyline was bad. I just felt the detailing was bad. That's just my opinion. I don't like to bomb on black movies, black films, but I mean, certain people could get bombed on. Like Eddie Murphy. Like, Eddie Murphy is Eddie Murphy, so we expect so much from him. But when you bomb on like if it was like a newer, and then I heard what's his name was on the production team. What's this child name? Kenya Barris. So come on now. Freaking what's this girl named Zendaya? Not Zendaya. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The girl from Black-ish. Oh Lord, I know her name. you know, the light skin one with the, you know, with the curly hair. She's on Grownish. She be having better looks than freaking what they had going on up in Coming to America 2. So my expectations was very high. I'm sorry. And I could bond them because they're elite when it comes to black television, black movies, black comedy. Like you can't give me some lackluster shit. If they were new up and coming producers and creatives, then yes. Then now, you know, I'll be a little more lenient. I'll be a little more nice. But Eddie Murphy? No. Absolutely not. He's too well connected. He should have brought in a way more creative team, a way more better costume. Like even with Beyonce, if you check her credits for Black is King, you know all the motherfuckers was African in that shit. Like that's why they hit it on the nose. It's the same theology as when we say white people need to have black people in the room so that they don't make errors. Like they needed some African people, more African people on the board. They needed a better costume designer on board. They needed everything. They need a better set stylist. What is that called? The people who do the set. I just wasn't here for it. I like the little dancing and stuff that they had. I could go into detail. I want to let y'all know I'm very extra. You know, I feel like I'm a creative myself sometimes, so I'm very, very extra when it comes to just presentation. I felt like even the music could have been better. Like but I'm thinking their budget was low, honey. They probably had better music, but then they had to cut some stuff out when they realized it was going to theaters. That's what I'm assuming. It was like, yo, we cut your part out, so we ain't cutting you no check. Because they only had one like Afrobeat song in it. It was Tiwa Savage, and that was at the end of the movie. So I just felt like it was just giving me very low budget. I'm thinking that could be too. Maybe they had to take some stuff out because they didn't want to cut certain checks. I don't know. They got paid 120 million. They paid 60 million to make it. They got 60 million back. I'm pretty sure if had it went to box office though, it would have made way more money. But I mean, it's but so much you could do. But like I said, for me, that's what it lacked. So that took up about a big chunk of the episode. But hey, it is what it is. So I watched Coming to America this week. That was one of the things I did. I'm going out tonight. And yeah. So remember last week I was talking about wanting to do a relationship topic. Because I haven't done a relationship topic in so long. But this week I'm going to do a relationship topic. And the topic, I can't really put my nose on it. But it's about really just accepting baggage in a relationship. And what made me think about this is because, you know, like in my relationship too, not just baggage, but differences. I want to say, like, we have a lot of cultural differences, right? Considering he's Nigerian, I'm African American, Jamaican American as well, and it's a lot of differences. You know what I'm saying? Like we grow up so differently. All of us grow up so differently. All of us experience life so differently. You could even relay meeting somebody who grew up in Connecticut. And you grew up in Los Angeles, you know, but let's say that person from Connecticut moved to Los Angeles, so y'all fell in love. Even that's such a difference in lifestyle and stuff like that. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about differences in relationships and how I think we need to really view those things and how we're kind of like really hard on each other in relationships when it comes to differences. So before most topics, what do we like to do? We like to expand our minds. So expand your mind, expand your mind, expand your mind. In an article on bustle.com titled "The Baggage You Shouldn't Hide from Your Partner." So in an article titled that, written by Rachel Sunoff, She writes, no person is perfect and neither is any relationship. Dr. Nico Gassian says, I believe it's about having a shared commitment to treat one another with respect, support, understanding, and most importantly, to grow together during times of stress rather than grow apart. And to work through issues and baggage as a way to help one another heal. Alicia H. Clark, psych degree, agrees and tells Bustle how what we consider baggage is often the foundation of a healthy relationship. Strong relationships are built around deeply knowing and accepting a partner, and understanding your partner's baggage is always part of this process. Knowing your baggage is central to growing forward and maintaining a strong bond with your partner. Alright, so this topic is so important to me because I remember growing up, I would always be like, well, not growing up, like in my 20s, early 20s, I would always be like, I don't want to be in a relationship with no guy right now. Well, I was dead ass. Because people be having their own baggage. I got my own baggage and I don't want to be carrying your shit. Now my back hurt. You feel me? That was the type of energy I was on. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the other day I had an epiphany and I'm just like, low-key, high-key, we all got baggage that we cannot run from, right? I think that with life, you're going to always run into challenges. You're going to always have problems. So in return, you're going to always have baggage. Like, I think that no matter what, we're going to always be carrying a load because life is so crazy. And I think it's kind of unfair to say, I don't want to date anyone with baggage because you have baggage. You know what I'm saying? We all have it. No matter how we view it or how we dip it and fry it or dye it, we all have it. And we're all different. So some people are like, I want to date somebody just like me. I want to be able to relate to whomever I date and things like that. But in hindsight, can we ever really relate to each other? I don't think so, because I feel like no matter what, we're all growing up differently. As long as you come from two different parents, even people who come from the same parents, their lives are completely different. Like, it's so weird. It's I would say somewhat very different. Like, me and my brother, we have the same exact two parents, and I would say we live the same exact problems, and to some extent, I'm saying it as it pertains to family and life and household stuff. But we're two very different people. So how can we say that we want to date someone that's just like us? Nobody is just alike. I mean, it could happen like with friendships, and sometimes you have things in common, but your struggles and your pains and things aren't the same. So I feel like that's something we kind of need to throw out. And I think those things, if you want a relationship, are things that might be preventing you from getting into a relationship if you want one. Because I feel like sometimes we'll get in a relationship and we'll deal with our partner or whatever, and we'll notice like, oh my God, he done told me he been through this, he act like this, he does this. Or shit, a man could do this shit too. Oh, she's a little off her rocker, she does this, she complains about this, she's very this, she's very that, he's very, like, we always saying, oh, they do this a lot and they do this a lot. But I mean, you know, like we all you gonna always meet somebody that's a little faulty, because we have so many different experiences, and not only do they affect us in bad ways, they might affect, you know, subjectively in good ways, right? So for instance, you might date somebody who's a neat freak. Maybe they grew up around somebody who's super clean, who put them on a timely schedule for cleaning. Like, you better have your room cleaned by 5. You better have the dishes done by 2. Meanwhile, when you was growing up, you didn't have to worry about dishes or doing the laundry and things like that. So are you telling me that, you know, those are, I mean, for some, I would say those are really minuscule things to not want to date somebody for. That's my opinion. Is that you, sex time. But let's say like, you know, we all do little things that are so different. So it's just like, you might think that you guys have so much in common, but what happens when he's not really the cleanest, or she's not really the cleanest? Maybe she was a mommy's girl. Maybe her mother just catered to her and she doesn't like cleaning up, or things like that. So it's just like, we all are different. I don't care what nobody says. We're all so different. We're all extremely different. And to say that you wouldn't give somebody a chance, or kind of run through the relationship to see if it could work, is a bit detrimental to one's love life. I would say so, because I feel like you gotta try it out. As long you could tell when somebody's a little off, a little nutty, but can we? Because I feel like, all right, this is where the problem lies too. Because I know how, like, sometimes you get into a relationship, right, and things go on in a relationship, right, from the beginning, and it's like you peeped that in the beginning and you chose to stay. So maybe, you know, it's your fault. But I do think that we need to give people trial runs, give people a chance. I'm talking about each party, like the man and the woman, or if you date man and man, woman and woman, child, whatever you do. We need to give each other chances. I really do believe that. And some people might say that's toxic, Brittany. If you in a relationship and you see a red flag, run. But some of y'all red flags don't be red flags. Red flags to me is like, on the first date, he freaking like, like they gotta do something crazy. That's a red flag. Or you hear them yelling at the phone, yelling at their mother on the phone on the first date. Like, that's a red flag. Some shit, like some weirdo shit, like, or you could tell, a red flag is like, you could tell he might be in a relationship, like the way he moving with his phone while y'all on a date or something. Like, those are red flags. But red flags are not like if a guy tells you, oh, some people be doing that. Like, they'll be like, oh, my mother's the number one person in my life, I love my mom. And then y'all be like, oh, he's a dub, he's mad obsessed with his mom. Like, we don't know if he's obsessed with his mom yet. Everybody can say they love their mom, don't mean they obsessed with their mom. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, y'all be making anything a fucking red flag. Like, don't make everything is not a means of a red flag. Like, oh, you know, I've been to a couple of places. I've been to Dubai. I've been to China. I've been to oh, he traveled a lot. He's a scammer. Oh, he travels a lot. Oh, he travels a lot. He up to some shit. Fuck is he doing in these other countries? Like, maybe he just likes to travel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But it's hard to know what a red flag is. Like, now that I'm trying to think of red flags. But I think a lot of red flags just be like life shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we just fucked up ass people. And I think what's important though, and this is also one of the hardest parts, is once you realize that, you know, there is a not relationship issue, I don't want to say personality issue, just like that this person might be dealing with something, then it's your job to kind of ask them, like, do you want to seek help for that? And that's the part where the trouble begins, is because especially with men, and yes, I am going to say especially with men, it's kind of hard to get them to go seek therapy, to go seek help. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really hard to kind of get them to make that big jump, or even just like, are you in tune with God? Like, but then again, that could be a big issue, because some people they want you to be super into church and stuff like that, and maybe that person is not ready to do that, or that's not a step that they want to take. They say, I have my own relationship with God, but to you, that you feel like that's not a relationship. So that could be too big of a topic. But getting therapy, telling them like, yo, you dealing with a lot of trauma, you're dealing with a lot of shit, did you go get help for that? And a lot of times men don't get help for shit. They don't. I'm gonna say men. I'm not gonna make this a podcast and then be like, oh, men and women. No, I'm gonna say it. Like, a lot of them don't go get help for shit. And that's where the problem starts. And I understand that 100%, because I know a lot of the people might watch or listen to this and say, okay, but Brittany, I don't mind dating somebody with issues, but are you going to work on the issues? Because I'm not going to be walking and grinding with you while you not even willing to fix your shit. And I 100% agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I get that. Can a relationship work if somebody is dealing with heartache, pain, trauma, and they don't work through it? You know what? I think it can. And I let me tell y'all something about this podcast, because I was thinking about this the other day. And you guys will hear, you know, if my mind does ever change on things, you'll get that information. I'll be sure to relay it back to you. But you know, as I get older, my opinions can change on things. Things can change. But for now, I will say, from my knowledge, I do think that a relationship could still work if you don't get the help. If they don't, I don't know. I mean, it might be toxic as fuck, but I cannot speak on that. And let me tell you who I'm gonna tell you why I say this shit. Our parents, the motherfucking, who's they? The baby boomers and the is it Gen X? Gen X, yeah, because it's Gen X, Millennials, Gen Z. They barely ever got therapy, the wife and the damn husband, especially in the black community, and they kind of thrive through their relationships. Now, was it perfect? I would imagine not. You know, but did they stick it out? A lot of them stick it out, have 25, 30 year marriages and things like that. I'm quite sure there was a lot of trouble, but they kind of thugged it out. Is the love still there? I have no idea. That's why I can't give you full information. Like, I know, like, there's a lot of marriages that lasted 30, 40 years, and it's just like they're not even in love. They're not even having sex no more. You know, I mean, yeah, you know, maybe, you know, it's a weird thing. I wouldn't fully know if that. I think the love is always there, though. That I think is there, but all that other freaky deaky shit, all the sex and the rah and then the dates might be on, you know. And I don't know, if they would have got therapy and then balanced out their traumas, would they have changed? Maybe not, because some people, even people who go and get therapy and who are in tune with themselves, don't like going out and doing stuff. And you might date somebody like that who just doesn't want to be outside and do dates, and they like being in the house, and you chose that. And it's nothing wrong with that, you know. It's just about figuring out what you like, but also understanding that none of us are perfect. No, you're never. I'm basically trying to tell somebody today that if you really out here not dating someone because you keep dating someone and you feel like they're a red flag, or for some dumb shit, because some people dead ass be red flags. Like, it be red flags, like, you know he got a wife or some shit. Like, you know this nigga in a relationship. Something about what he moving, the way he moving on this date, the way he keep looking around, bitch, something's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you know that he might be a little crazy. Maybe he got loud with the fucking waitress, something like that. Maybe he threatened to shoot somebody, bitch, with the 3 dates. Like, that's a red flag. Okay? You know, certain shit be red flags. Maybe he called you, you know, in a month, and he was like, why you answer my fucking phone calls? You're like, oh, baby, honey, we ain't been dating a month. What's the cursing about? So, yes, those are red flags. But some of y'all be saying red flags be the dumbest shit. Like, oh, he told me in his last relationship he ain't like the girl because Somebody, it just be stupid stuff. Like, those are not red flags. Oh, I don't want to date him. He went to Catholic school. Like, girl, like, stop. Like, how is that detrimental? Like, I be just making anything red flaggish. Like, I'm just saying, like, today, look, bring somebody in. You know, you might be like, I don't know, I ain't like when he said XYZA, but I be in double C, but he might be the D. What the? Yo, I'm giving you poetry. But he might be the one. You feel me? She might be the one. Because dudes be doing that too. They be like, yo, she was on some weirdo shit. Like, like, she a little crazy. First of all, a lot of women, we're all crazy. Just a tad. You feel me? But, I mean, that whole baggage thing, even in the article, that's what I loved about the article, is like, that is one of the most important things to me in a relationship, is being able to deal with your partner in challenging times, understanding them, well, trying to understand what they may or may not be going through. You know what I'm saying? And still loving them, and still growing with them, and still putting a smile on their face, and they're putting a smile on your face, and y'all just going through the fucking trials and tribulations of life. That is real life relationship love shit, for real. Like, just really pushing through shit. And a lot of people want to say y'all shouldn't have to do that. No, you're gonna have to do that, because shit is gonna pop the fuck off. Like, for real. Like, especially, like, for instance, in marriages and in relationships, you deal with so much shit because, number one, y'all growing together as well. Y'all aging together, right? So with age, with growth and all that stuff comes bullshit. You know, things are gonna change. You're gonna start a family, you know. You might become a grandparent. You see your parents get older. Hello. Maybe you got siblings. You might become an aunt. You might become an uncle. Your life is changing dramatically. You know, you might get a new job. You might retire. These are life-changing things. So you're constantly going to go through changes. So if you feel comfortable breaking up with someone in a small change, how can you have a long-lasting marriage and love? Now, I'm not saying I'm not perfect, you know. I just want to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? You know, God forbid, I might go through a divorce. You know what I'm saying? I might have to go through some shit. But what I'm saying, though, I would hope, I wouldn't think it would be because the person was facing a challenge and I couldn't help that challenge that he was in. That's crazy to me. That's wild. There would be some other shit. You feel me? But I feel like that is love. Love is really just, it's one of the things that is love, because love is so many things. But it's one of the things that you're gonna face in a relationship, is just dealing with a person's life, family. Like, they might have some family shit you're not even privy to. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you gonna dead? You get what I'm saying? Like, for instance, and people often think of differences as just cultural differences. Like, me and family, we actually do have cultural differences. But also, what about life differences? I'm talking about the nitty gritty, like the tiny, like, little differences that he had. Like, he was telling me, and my mother actually told me this too, but he was telling me, like, when he was in school, they would beat you for getting, like, an answer wrong. They hit you with something when you got the answer wrong. Like, up in Nigeria, they be wilding. My mother said they do stuff like that in Jamaica too. Like, you get an answer wrong, you get hit upside your head and shit. In American school, public school, ain't nobody finna hit me over getting an answer wrong. They're just gonna be like, you need to figure it out. So even that, those are little differences, just schooling. And that is considered cultural, because those are things obviously that's going on in Jamaica or in Africa, but it's just not happening in America. Let me think of something that's different. I think even too, at one point he went to boarding school. I would think that would be that is considered a life difference. I would think so. I never went away to school. I never even went to camp. I never experienced that at a young age, being away from your parents for a certain amount of time and not having somebody to that's why I mean, I'm not opposed to boarding school, but that's one of the reasons why I personally wouldn't do it, is because, like, okay, if something happened, can I be of reach? Can they call me? Do they feel comfortable telling me? Like, I just think it's just weird. But those are little differences that we have in our relationships, and I try to take those things into consideration. I'm like, I would think, you know, every time you got an answer wrong, you got beat, that would be traumatic. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that I try to take into consideration or whatever. Or, you know, certain things I tell him, like, he has always had a two-person household, a two-parent household. I haven't always had that experience. You know, my parents got back together when I was like, I can't even remember the age. I would always say 14, 15, 16, maybe 15 years old, but they were separated for a long time. So I have a weird family dynamic. I tell Femi that all the time. He doesn't experience that. I have one brother. Femi has what? People don't even think about that. Imagine you are only child. That's such a big thing. You are only child, and let's say you the girl. You the only child, and your man had 6 brothers and sisters. Y'all life is very different. Like, the way you approach things are gonna be different. I hope you know that. Like, that's when I say even small, minuscule things people not even privy to could change who you are. Not change, I don't want to say change, just make you as a person. And why, when you get into relationships with other people, it kind of molds your decision making in the way you might react to things. That's what I'm trying to say, is like, people don't even put those type of things in consideration. So you might think you and your wife got the most things in common. You and your partner, y'all just got everything in common. But you not even, but you like, but sometimes you just be bumping heads because of X, Y, and Z. And you're like, yeah, maybe y'all think y'all got everything in common, but did you ever think his father wasn't in his life and your father was in your life? Even though y'all feel y'all like the same movies and television shows, that one little aspect is going to change how he or she maneuvers. So you gonna break up with that person when they start showing those little intricacies from that little situation in their life? I don't agree with that. And I think that, you know, a lot of people might not be finding the love that they want because of that. And a lot of these things, I feel, are kind of let me be careful with the word easy. They're doable. You know what I'm saying? Things are doable. Things can be definitely done. You know, not done. I don't like that word. Like, you can definitely go through love and go through life and a relationship and everything be okay. You know what I'm saying? And you guys have challenges. I just feel like that's so important. Like, I feel like we come up in a time where it's like, red flag this, I don't want no man with no baggage. Like, bitch, what? I used to say stuff like that, so it's okay. Like, I didn't want him with too much baggage, but I do think there's a problem, like I said, that they don't want to do the work and try to get through those problems. And that's where new problems arise, because it's like, all right, I'm willing to deal with your bullshit, but you gonna get help. And a lot of times they not. And unfortunately, we're not professionals. We can't be their therapist. We can, because, you know, in a relationship, he has to be a therapist. You have to be his therapist sometimes. You guys have to be there for each other. But I do think that it's very important to have a mediator in certain situations, because, like, I say that sometimes too, like, when you arguing with somebody and there's no mediation in, it's a lot of back and forth butting heads, because I feel like sometimes in arguments or disagreements, the main goal is to be right. People don't know when to say, you know what, I'm sorry for that, because they just want to go and keep bringing up shit like, well, you did that too, and you did that too last week. Well, you calling me out on this, but you be doing the same shit. And it's like, when I call you out on some shit, you don't got to bring up when I did it. Let's just apologize when we do shit, so we won't have to keep bringing shit back up. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's important to have a mediator. It's important to have that counseling, that help whichever way you want it. But I think it's important to know that you cannot shun somebody out because of their past or their little intricacies that are not big. Like, And let's get into horoscopes. Remember, at top of the episode, I was talking about Pisces and stuff. Y'all can't be just shunning out your Aries and your Pisces and your Scorpios. Okay? It might work out. Like, oh no, I can't date you. I dated a Leo. No, it's not gonna work. No, it's not gonna work. No, no, bye. Like, you cannot do that. Like, try it out. Definitely try it out. I mean, I do see, for me, if we want to talk a little bit about horoscopes, I do definitely see a lot of familiarities in my Pisces friends. I definitely do see a lot. Like, it's so weird. So it could be, I don't know, I'm not big on horoscopes, but you know, I do see a lot of familiarities. But that also something, and this is why I'm not big on horoscopes too, not only for religious reasons, but I also feel like too, maybe I personally just attract those type of people. Like, I like in a weird way, because some traits I don't like, but for some reason that's the type of people I attract. Like, does that make sense? Because I actually see similarities in all of my friends, whether they're Pisces or Aries or Sagittarius or Libras, whatever. I see similarities in all of them across the board. Like, for real. Like, it's scary. Like, it's like, I really like this type of person. Like, that type of shit. So I'm really like that to a certain extent. So I just feel like that's the other reason why I'm not like big on horoscopes. I'm big on the law of attraction and this the type of people that I adore and things like that, or the type of people I like to keep around me. So yeah, but that's a different topic. Ooh, that could be a topic. Ooh, the law of attraction. That would be a while from now, because I would have to really dig deep into that and really study that. I try, guys. I try. I really be in here going for blood, trying to figure out these damn topics. Law of attraction. See? Remember this, that I wrote this topic down because I often, not often, ever so often, shout out to my cousin Mercedes, I be getting text messages like, or when I put up a clip of Brit Says on Instagram, people be like, if you want to talk about me, then just say it's about me. And I'm just like, boo-boo, this is not about you. These topics has been written down months ago. Like, months ago. But, and that's the beauty of what it says. Like, they're really relatable ass topics. Like, I could think about this topic in January and it's still relatable in March. Look at that. But it was odd. I wouldn't say it was odd, because like I said, these topics are everyday topics. Something did happen that we discussed, and it was kind of relatable to the topic, so I did get that. But it wasn't. It was a little sticky. It wasn't about her. She thought the episode was about her, and it wasn't. Like, I mean, I'm on my own boat right now. You know, we all on our own boat right now. We all just like. I'm 100% sure I'm not the only person who really gets to see their friends and family that much. So I just be doing me. I just do birth says. Like, I don't have time to consume myself with everybody else's issues right now. So remember, I wrote this down, but I was saying like, oh honey, I've been came up with it was actually the topic of haters. I know y'all like, ooh, what happened? It was nothing serious. I just don't feel like telling the full story. But it was very relatable though. And she didn't call me out or anything. It was actually something going on within the family. Should I tell a story? Okay, I'll tell a story. I'll tell it briefly. Basically, she actually did start a company. And one of our cousins, I have lots of cousins. When I say cousins, a lot of people, which is really interesting about me, a lot of people are not really that cool with their cousins or have that much cousins. But my grandparents procreated a lot of children. So, yeah. Anyway. So my cousin started a business, and my other cousin, she also has a business. That's what I don't play around in these pods. I be telling y'all the real fucking tea. Okay, I know people who be starting businesses and shit, and then you needing me to buy some shit. Okay, so they both started a business, whatever. My cousin, she started a business. I'll say what it is. It's like she sells masks on Etsy. or whatever. And she has started several, I would say, several? No, maybe two. Just two. At one point, she sold hair as well. Whatever. So, boom, 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 bang, 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 bang. And she models. So, my cousin was starting her own business. I'll say what it is. It's called, I'm pretty sure they don't care. It's promotion. She started, it's called a thought bubble. And it's basically like, you could put whatever, like, gifts inside of it of your thoughts. But really of what's going on. So like if you want to buy somebody a baby shower gift, they would make a thought bubble of all the things of a baby, and it would have like, you know, maybe a bottle, some Enfamil, bitch, I don't know, or like anything you have in mind and you want to gift somebody it, you just put in the thought bubble. So yeah, y'all get the gist of it. Boom, say less. So then she made one, and it was like Beyonce based. And then my cousin wrote her, who does masks and had hair company, it was like, you got to be careful because of likability. You could get sued for selling her likeness, which is true. That's a big fact. You cannot. That's why celebrities do collaborations. You can't do. You notice that they did a collaboration with Beyonce. You notice that H&M does a collaboration with Nicki Minaj. They have to. If they want to sell a Nicki Minaj shirt, they have to get a sign off or write off or anything on that, or whatever the case may be. So she was just telling her, and Mercedes got upset. My cousin got upset because she said she didn't like the way she presented it to her, like the way she said it, maybe. I don't know. So the topic was relatable to last week's topic about haters, because we talked a lot about business in the episode. But I wasn't thinking about her. But it would have been dope now that I'm talking about it to have brought that shit up, because it's very, very relatable in hindsight of just being careful when you give business advice or whatever the case may be. But yeah, that was last week's topic. Definitely go check out that episode. But she definitely was like, "Why are you talking about me?" And I was like, sorry, I wasn't. Like, but I wish I was, because that was actually a good ass example or whatever the case may be. So yeah, a lot of times we'd be like, "Oh, you talking about me?" And I'm just like, I go to work. I think I brought this up in the podcast, but I can't do but so much because it did get in my head, and I'm just like, all I can do is do my podcast. Like, I mean, you think about you, if it could relate to you, kudos to you, baby boo. But yeah, I hope that I dwelled in on that topic drastically and very well for you guys, because I feel like I'm like going all over time. But yeah, I just want everybody to give everybody a chance. I know this topic could be problematic because y'all like, bitch, how much chance do you want me to give? When do we end? When do we stop? I don't know. It's when you know. If you know it in your gut, you know it in your heart that you need to stop. Like, you have to leave, you know, but at least give it a shot. And then number one to think about when things go astray is, am I perfect? Do they deal with me? I bet you're gonna be able to say no. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that topic. Yes, we spoke about relationships this week, so I'm so excited. I'm so happy. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Make sure you're following me on Instagram _Britstagram. Twitter, Brit Says with 2 S's. Where else am I on? Where else is the girl on? I'm on Instagram, Twitter. I'm on Snapchat. I think I'm Snapchat Brit Says 1 or Brit Says, just in general. I have a Facebook page, Brit Says. I was so happy because what happened with Facebook was I had made a Facebook page called Brittany Darling, and in like 2019 I asked them, can I change my page to Brit Says? Like, I want to change my name. Like, you have to ask for requests. And they said no. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, why I can't change my name to Brit Says? Like, nobody owns Brit Says. So then this year, like last week, they allowed me to change my page name to Brit Says. I was like, let me try again, see if they'll let me change it to Brit Says. And I guess I get it because I just started Brit Says, and they wanted to make sure I wasn't just like throwing out businesses. Then they started saying, okay, she's been doing this for a long time. She keep posting her Brit Says shit on her Brittany Darling page. We gonna give her Brit Says. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of happy about that. I want to get Brit Says on my Instagram too. and I know how I can get it done, so I gotta get that done. So my Instagram name may or may not change, hopefully soon. Maybe in maybe 2 to 3 months. Give me some time. So yeah, I'm trying to be, you know, streamlined. Bert says across the board, but yeah. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the topic. Make sure you subscribe. If you are streaming, make sure you leave 5 stars, leave a review, comment, share, people, share. Like, I don't emphasize that enough. Like, share it. Like, if you see a clip from Versailles here on YouTube, share it. You know, follow me, share, be like, yo, this girl funny, she's lit, gang. Share. Just share it. That's what I ask. Send a link. Say she's funny. If you see it and you like it, tell somebody else, look, I saw this and I liked it. Okay? So yes, I will see you guys when next week.